Tonight on CTV News at 6, the province backs off its book ban for now.
I think that there was some misunderstanding of the order.
A ministerial order being rewritten. Back to school with a teacher strike looming. The excitement and uncertainty this new school year brings.
We're in a position where I think we would be okay just with with myself and my husband, but I know there are families that would have lots of concerns.
And a careful attempt at a world record.
I've already got the shakes a little bit. Pressure's on.
Vegreville's excellent adventure.
Temperatures jump back into the mid to upper 20s for tomorrow, but the wind gusts increase as well.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. The UCP government is changing its order directing schools to ban certain books. It had previously ordered school divisions to remove what it calls books with sexually explicit content from schools by October 1st. Now that plan is on pause. Brendan Purdy is following the story for us, joins us now in studio. Brendan, what do we know about the decision to pause the ban?
Well, Jeff, last week, CTV News obtained Edmonton Public Schools' working list of more than 200 banned books, including many well-known literary works, like Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, and The Handmaid's Tale by prolific Canadian author Margaret Atwood. Atwood was one of the first authors to trash the ban online. The list also made news across our country. In a statement today, Alberta's Education Minister said, "I'll be revising the order immediately to ensure that our classic literary works remain in school libraries while books with graphic, pornographic images don't end up in the hands of our children." The move well received by the Edmonton Public Schools Board Chair, who says the board is grateful for the responsiveness to the concerns raised by parents, students, educators, and the community, adding that they appreciate the minister's decision to pause the implementation until further notice.
Well, it'll be paused for a couple of hours while the ministerial order is rewritten. The direction will be to take books with pornographic images out of the libraries and to leave the classics alone. I think that there was some misunderstanding of the order.
Nobody is arguing that you should have age and appropriate materials in classrooms. Absolutely not. You should not. But we should fund experts like teacher librarians to ensure that we're having the right materials in the right classrooms for the right ages, instead of just banning everything willy-nilly, which is what this ministerial order attempted to do.
Nenshi also calling the ban and now pause wasted time, wasted money, and unneeded stress. Edmonton's Catholic School Division says that their administrative procedure on Learning Commons has long guided schools in selecting age-appropriate resources. The president of the Alberta Teachers Association called the ban an ill-timed game of red light, green light, adding that teachers were burdened with removing thousands of books as they prepared for the new school year, all for a now-defunct deadline. Jeff?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Students in the Edmonton area are back in class, with many of them starting their school year today. It's usually one of the most exciting times of the year. This year, though, is full of uncertainty as teachers across the province could be hitting the picket lines. CTV's Evan Kenny joins us now from outside St. Paul Elementary School. Evan, how are kids and parents feeling as they were heading back to school this morning?
Jeff, there was excitement and some disappointment as students realized the summer is over as they went through the front doors of schools today. And while parents were also excited for their kids to be starting a new year, it was also on their minds that there could be a potential teacher strike.
I think they're almost at the age where they can maybe find something to do, but we are worried about their education and what if they'll fall back.
Carmel's daughters are starting grade 4 and grade 6. She's more worried about how a potential teacher strike could impact her kids' learning than what she'll do with her kids.
We're in a position where I think we would be okay just with myself and my husband, but I know there are families that would have lots of concerns.
Many families feel the same way as they sit and wait to see what will happen next. Last week, the Alberta Teachers Association walked away from the negotiating table with the Teachers Employer Bargaining Association that is representing the province. That group then voted in favor of a lockout. The government says that would only be used as a reactionary response.
I can work from home some days, but yeah, no, I'm hoping they can get it sorted out and stuff, because I know there's a lot of parents that are struggling a little bit with that. So. The teachers have until October 7th to hit the picket lines and would have to provide a 72-hour notice. Parents are hoping it won't come to that. I support the teachers. I've come from a family of teachers and stuff like that, so I'm hoping they can work it out.
We really appreciate the teachers and what they do.
The Teachers Employer Association would also have to provide a 72-hour notice before locking out teachers. Last week, the ATA turned down a 12% wage increase and as well the hiring of 3,000 new teachers over the next 3 years. The province says it did not receive a counteroffer. The ATA says teachers' wages have only gone up less than 6% over the last decade. And even if they did accept this 12% wage increase, their wages would still be less than teachers in other provinces. Jeff?
All right, Evan, thank you. That's Evan Kenny live for us tonight. A man charged in the death of a woman this weekend has a criminal history. 42-year-old Kyle Lauman is facing charges of first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and breach of probation after a woman was found shot inside an SUV downtown Saturday morning. The victim has been identified as 39-year-old Priscilla McGreer. Northwest College confirms she was a casual instructor at the school. Court documents show Lauman was convicted of assault causing bodily harm 2 years ago. He was also charged with second-degree murder in 2018. Those charges were stayed. The documents do not say why. And Edmonton homicide detectives are investigating the death of a senior in the Old Strathcona neighborhood. Emergency crews were called to the area of 104th Street and 86th Ave around 8:30 Saturday morning. Police say an 82-year-old man was found in the backyard of a home in medical distress. He was rushed to hospital where he later died. The Edmonton Police Service says it expects to release more information once the results of an autopsy scheduled for today are complete. A Canada-wide warrant has been issued for a man believed to be behind a deadly shooting 6 years ago. 38-year-old Fahia Ahmed is wanted for second-degree murder. Edmonton police say Christmas morning 2019, officers responded to reports of shots fired near 117th Street and 107th Avenue. Outside the apartment, police found an injured 28-year-old man who later died from gunshot wounds. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them for Crime Stoppers. The city's Animal Protection Unit recently rescued more than 80 snakes from an Edmonton home. The city says August 20th it searched a house and found 83 snakes, a gecko, a tarantula, and 2 cats. It says the majority of snakes were emaciated and in poor health. The city representative called their condition deeply concerning. Since being rescued, the animals have been provided appropriate housing, food, and medication. The city says it is investigating whether to lay charges. The City of Edmonton says a summer pilot project to make Old Strathcona more pedestrian-friendly was a success. The Old Strathcona Farmers Market saw more people coming through the doors on weekends when 83rd Ave was closed to vehicles. As Merrick Takash reports, the city plans to expand the initiative.
This stretch of 83rd Avenue right in front of the Old Strathcona Farmers Market has looked a little different compared to previous years.
There's been a lot of great things for kids. My little guys loved it, and so I think it's fun. It brings people out.
We love it. I think it's great. We need more areas like this in Edmonton. Then more people can come down and enjoy the atmosphere here.
The area in front of the market was transformed into a pedestrian-only space during 4 different weekends over the summer.
It's already a great destination, already a great neighborhood. It's such a draw for people outside of the city, and so this strategy is just the way to help make it even better.
The change is making the market even busier.
Numbers have gone up on our event weekends by about 10%, which is huge for us because we get thousands and thousands of people every weekend weekend here.
Staff at the farmers market would like to see the street closed to vehicles and bikes more often.
Permanently in the summertime would be great to get pedestrian traffic through this area. It would really benefit the farmers market and the back alley businesses as well.
The project is part of the city's Old Strathcona public realm strategy.
Long-term plan could be for it to be pedestrianized permanently, but for the time being, our focus is on a temporary, occasional, seasonal activation.
As for next summer, you can expect more events like these around the Old Strathcona neighborhood.
Over the coming years, we'll slowly start to see more events or activations like 83 Ave, and then longer-term changes to improve some of the parks or the sidewalks and streets.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
As kids head back to school, crossing guards are also back at their posts, making sure their classmates get to school safely.
Point, double check, proceed.
The Alberta Motor Association is reminding all drivers to be mindful of the 30-kilometer-per-hour speed limit in school and playground zones. The AMA says drivers need to be extra patient and cautious during drop-off and pickup times. It recommends avoiding these areas on daily commutes if you don't have kids in school.
And if you are a parent that is delivering students to school, we encourage you to leave early, get there in plenty of time so you're not rushing. And also we recommend that you consider parking a block away from school and walking your children. In fact, you'll probably get them there quicker and also safer.
During the last school year, police issued more than 1,500 tickets in playground zones. Dogs made a splash while raising money for charity this weekend. Grosvenor Outdoor Pool was transformed into a doggy pool on Monday. Only dogs were permitted in the pool. Owners were able to supervise from the sidelines. Admission to the event was a donation to the Second Chance Animal Rescue Society through cash or new or gently used pet-related items.
St. Albert's a huge community that supports dogs. We see it in our trails parks every day, and for 2 hours for them to bring it out, it's really great. You know, it's exciting to see the dogs' faces, and the owners as well.
The dog gets to burn some energy, and he loves swimming, and so it's kind of like a win-win.
This is an annual event that started in 2012 and always happens on the last day of the season for the pool. The City of Edmonton has deactivated its extreme weather response for poor air quality. The city says the threshold for its response is 2 consecutive days where the air quality health index is 7 or higher. Right now, you can see it is still hazy. The health index is a little lower, with the most recent reading at 5. That's considered a moderate health risk. And not nearly as bad as the last couple days, Josh.
No, I mean, it was 10 plus for much of Sunday and yesterday. There was a nice little break for parts of the Edmonton region this morning, and then it got a little bit worse through this afternoon. I think we're going to be moderate risk at best for the next 2 or 3 days. And at times, especially tomorrow night into early Thursday, back into the high-risk range. No air quality warning for Edmonton or areas off to the south through Red Deer, east towards Lloydminster. There's a little bit of a donut there. Surrounding us, though, southern Alberta, western Alberta, northern Alberta, all under an air quality warning. And you can see with the purple air map, which measures air quality right across the province, in the darker reds and the red zones, around Calgary, up in the Peace Country, even around Cold Lake, that's where the worst of the air quality is. Here in Edmonton, yeah, it's been a moderate risk for most of this afternoon. I do think once the wind swings around late tomorrow, though, to the north, some of that thicker smoke that's off in northern Alberta will drift through. This is what it looks like with the CTV drone. Again, as you saw with Skycam just a few moments ago, it is awfully hazy in through the river valley. Temperature-wise, we're sitting at 22 in downtown Edmonton, 21s and 20s elsewhere around the city. Not much for wind right now or for the rest of tonight, but it will pick up through tomorrow afternoon. 22 will go down as the daytime high, so nowhere near as hot as last week when you had, 6 straight days in the 30s, 4 consecutive record-setting highs. We'll be nowhere even close to records, although we should be back in the high 20s tomorrow. 12 degrees in the morning, 28 tomorrow afternoon, but turning gusty later in the day. Take a closer look at your 5-day forecast in a couple minutes.
All right, thank you, Josh. Stay with us. Up next, putting a price on Edmonton history.
I think we maybe gotten a little bit more attention on the building than we expected.
What the future could hold for an Edmonton building dating back more than a century. Also next.
Either way, it's been just an incredible turnout. A ton of people from Edmonton.
An Alberta town tries to carefully crack a world record.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Some disappointment for people hoping to shop at a brand new Zellers store.
I'm very happy that Zellers is here. It will give Walmart competition, and that's what we need. Edmonton needs this. Londonderry needs this. So I'm very happy to have them back.
Shoppers might be happy to have Zellers back, but they'll have to wait a bit longer. Despite saying it was going to open Monday at noon, the long line of people waiting ended up being turned away. The retailer was slated to open in the former Hudson's Bay location at Londonderry Mall. There were several goods and displays inside the store as though it was ready for shopping, but no staff inside. Londonderry Mall staff told CTV News Edmonton they expect Zellers will open later this week. One of Edmonton's oldest buildings is on the market. In fact, it's so old it wasn't even a part of Edmonton when it was built near White Ave in 1911. Matt Woodman has more on the history of the Connaught Armory and what its future may hold.
I'm surprised at how light it is. It is truly light, and that there are so many historical features in here which are truly beautiful.
This is Catherine Ivany's first time inside the Connaught Armory in more than 40 years.
I came here as a student at the university because this was the place, the hopping place to be in the Club Malibu days.
This 114-year-old building has always been a gathering place, whether you were outfitted to dance or to fight.
This building was built before the First World War.
The Connaught Armory was finished in 1911, a year before Strathcona and Edmonton amalgamated into one city. It was used for military purposes during the First and Second World War.
They used areas like this and the park outside to do their drills, to take their tests, and they would often be recruited and mobilized out of here, so all the paperwork was done in the armory offices.
It served as a meeting place for veterans until 1965, when the federal government sold the building to the city. From the mid-70s through the 90s, it housed a variety of restaurants and nightclubs. Youth Empowerment and Support Services used the space until last year. Now the building is up for sale.
I think it's very rare that a building like this has come on the market.
Carolyn Bowl is part of the city's team tasked with selling the old armory.
I think we maybe gotten a little bit more attention on the building than we expected.
The city is asking for nearly $2.5 million and is accepting offers for a few more weeks. Bowles says some groups have pitches for the armory, while others are more interested in redeveloping the parking lot.
We don't want to be too specific, give away anybody's secrets on the site, but it is definitely going to be interesting reviewing those offers because it really is a wide range of uses.
Reviewing those offers could take months because the armory is a legally protected municipal and provincial historic resource site. Any renovations will require their approval, and demolition is not an option.
There are lots of interesting developers in the city who are doing interesting things with historic buildings, so I'm really looking forward to see what could come out of this space.
Who knows what the inside could look like the next time this city historian visits. Matt Woodman, CTV News, Edmonton.
Hundreds of people gathered in Vegreville Saturday in an attempt to crack a world record. Sasha Petramala reports on the small town race.
We don't know officially if we've broken a record.
In a park under one giant egg, hundreds of small eggs.
That beautiful egg in the background, our Pesica turning 50 years this year. That Pesica means just a tremendous amount to our community.
In celebration, a community day with one shared goal.
I've already got the shakes a little bit. Pressure's on.
It's an attempt to break the world record for the largest egg on spoon race.
We've got 10 minutes to complete everybody from start to finish. It's 100 meters that they have to travel, and we can only lose 10% of all participants, meaning if you drop your egg, if you touch your egg on your spoon once you've taken a stride over, you are disqualified.
The current world record was set last year in Mexico with 2,039 participants.
We're hoping for 2,500 people. We're not sure. It's going to take us probably a few days to total all of the numbers to make sure that, hey, everybody was accounted for. But either way, it's been just an incredible turnout. A ton of people from Edmonton.
3, 2, 1.
The record attempt was over quickly. For some, the event was more than simply walking an egg over the finish line.
I think it's serious competition. We're just out here to have fun without dropping the egg.
Easier said than done over 100 meters.
I'm probably going to drop it halfway through.
They haven't tallied the final numbers, but no matter what, racers will look at the results sunny side up.
Feels good. Feels good. Hopefully it makes a name for our town. We're known for the world's largest Easter egg. Now we're going to be known for the Egg Challenge.
Sasha Pietramala, CTV News, Vegreville.
Stay with us. Just ahead, something new at the Valley Zoo.
It's a good time to come to the zoo and see what they're up to.
How you can get a look at its newest family member. Also next, a rare red aurora borealis captured as the Northern Lights put on a show across Canada.
Yeah, and if skies stay clear enough and that haze kind of breaks a little bit, you should be able to see it again tonight. As we said, variable smokiness and be in and out over the course of the next couple of days. Closer look at that and your temperatures for the next week and a half in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Century Casino, 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
The Edmonton Valley Zoo is welcoming a new member to the family. Salju is a 6-year-old Lar Gibbon that came to Edmonton from the Assiniboine Park Zoo in Winnipeg. She's taken time to get used to the zoo behind the scenes and got to meet her new partner, Sulaway. The zoo says Salju is quiet, loves greens, and has a sweet tooth.
New is exciting. So yeah, it's kind of new ambassador for the species. It's exciting to see some of the natural behaviors that kind of entails with it. You're going to see a lot of them right now just as they're kind of getting used to each other. So it's a good time to come to the zoo and see what they're up to.
You can see her and Salaway at the zoo now. There may be additional barriers to keep people at a respectful distance while the gibbons get used to each other. A bear cub was spotted wandering through a Calgary neighborhood over the weekend. Police and Alberta Fish and Wildlife cornered the cub as it tried to climb a tree in the Signal Hill area. It was first spotted around 10 in the morning Saturday. A crowd gathered as authorities tranquilized the cub partway up the tree, causing it to fall. The cub was not hurt and has been relocated. The Northern Lights could be visible across much of Canada tonight, including the Edmonton area. While the aurora borealis usually have more of a greenish hue, a NASA astronaut recently captured a crimson-lined one orbiting Earth. Red auroras happen 2 or 3 times during a 6-month mission on the International Space Station. Tonight, there is a high probability of aurora activity, particularly over western and northern parts of Canada. If the clouds and the wildfire smoke and all that
cooperates. There's not a lot of cloud cover out there. It's just the haze that's going to be a bit of an issue. Let's check in. What does it look like outside right now? Yeah. Still hazy. That's the Action Furnace River Valley Sky Cam, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right, it's free. It's 22 degrees, which is our daytime high for today. 17s and 18s. Lloydminster, Cold Lake, Fort McMurray for highs. Got to the mid-20s there in the Peace Country and Jasper, 26 and 25 in Grand Prairie and Jasper. The air quality has not been great in through these areas, and the darker reds around Grand Prairie, northwards Peace River, around Calgary. Fort McMurray, interestingly, is only at 4s through this afternoon, while we've been kind of hovering between about a 4 and a 7, depending on where you are in the Edmonton region. So take a look at the modeling as we head through the next 24 hours. You'll start to see a little bit thicker smoke, I think, blow in from the west-southwest through tomorrow morning. So there may be a little bit of an ease late this evening, overnight tonight, and then it'll get worse tomorrow morning, and then it looks like tomorrow afternoon, maybe it gets a little bit better as the thicker smoke blows off to the east into the south. Look at this stuff here, though, way off to the north. This is what we were dealing with yesterday and Sunday with the 10 pluses. Well, it looks like by late tomorrow, that starts to move back through the Edmonton area. The worst of it is probably through the overnight Wednesday into early Thursday morning, and then gradually through the day Thursday. Skies start to clear a little bit. Here's the reason that smoke is coming in from the north in such a big way. There's tonight, not bad for wind. There's tomorrow morning, still not bad. Out of the south, southwest at about 10 kilometers per hour, even up until lunchtime. Not bad. Through the afternoon, though, watch how that swings around to the north and northwest, 20 gusting to 40 kilometers per hour, not just here in Edmonton, but across most of central and northern Alberta as well. There's tomorrow night, still 20 gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour. In fact, it looks gusty through most of the day Thursday as well, which may actually, first it'll draw in the smoke from the north, but then as the day wears on Thursday, it'll push it back further to the south. The only spots where you have a little bit of cloud cover is across northeastern Alberta, and we'll see a bit more of that through the day tomorrow across the northeast. Maybe even a few spotty showers in through that area. Edmonton, most of the province, if it weren't for the haze, it would be mainly sunny to partly cloudy skies for the next couple of days. Should heat up tomorrow. We're at 17s right now in Fort McMurray and Cold Lake, 26 in Grande Prairie. Here in Edmonton, we're at 22, which is our daytime high. But I think by tomorrow, we're into the 26 to 29 range for a high, just sort of depending on how thick that smoke is. We'll start the day at around 12 degrees. Again, light wind up until about lunchtime, then gusty through the afternoon hours. And not only does some smoke get drawn in on that northerly wind, some cooler air gets drawn in as well. We're in the mid to upper 20s tomorrow, but closer to 20 for a high Thursday, low 20s Friday, and then mid 20s on the way for Saturday, Sunday, and early next week. As far as smoke conditions, well, beyond 36 to 48 hours, it's pretty tough to tell exactly what's going to happen. So hazy for the next 2 days, and then we'll play it by ear and see what happens for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but keep your fingers crossed that it's out of here.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Coming up, U.S. President Donald Trump sidelined.
China is putting on a strong display of strength.
Russian and Indian leaders talking trade with Chinese officials. Also next.
There's no capitulation. Let's be clear. Zero. Never, never.
The latest on Canada-U.S. trade negotiations as the U.S. court throws a wrench into Trump's tariff plan.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
U.S. President Donald Trump may find himself isolated with a key security summit underway in Beijing. It's attended by 3 of his political rivals from China, India, and Russia. CTV senior political correspondent Michael Couture has more on what it could mean for the New World Order.
The meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is the biggest diplomatic event of the year in China, and many see it as a way for President Xi Jinping to rally countries who have become the target of U.S. President Donald Trump. Preparations have been meticulous for what is being called China's largest military parade ever. Celebrations commemorating the end of the Second World War will also showcase new drones, hypersonic missiles, and fighter jets. Perhaps more important are the guests who will be watching the display of military might. Kim Jong-un arrived on his armored train, a rare foreign trip for the North Korean leader.
Xi Jinping has been promoting this idea since 2017 that China will become the new global hegemon in what he refers to as the community of the common destiny of mankind.
Kim is expected to stand shoulder to shoulder at the ceremony with Russia's president. Vladimir Putin has been attending 2 days of meetings where China's president praised the two countries' lasting good neighborly friendship. President Xi also talked about establishing a model of mutually beneficial cooperation and win-win relations between major powers.
Well, I think Xi is succeeding in presenting an alternative to the multilateral rules-based order that we've lived under for the last 80 years.
That summit included Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, a country dealing with 50% tariffs from the U.S. And some believe China is trying to take advantage of the current global climate.
China is putting on a strong display of strength and is making itself out to be a responsible stakeholder in global affairs.
President Donald Trump was asked about Russia and China forming an axis against the U.S. He says he's not concerned at all about it. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Donald Trump is now on the defensive after a U.S. federal appeals court made much of his tariff strategy uncertain. The court ruled Trump misused his authority when he imposed tariffs under an emergency powers statute, something only Congress has the power to do. The panel of judges did say the tariffs can stay in place until the case is settled. The impacted tariffs include country-by-country or reciprocal tariffs and the 25% imposed on countries, including Canada, related to fentanyl flow across the border. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the latest on the Canada-U.S. trade relationship.
The start of September marked the end of Canada's counter tariffs on U.S. goods covered under CUSMA. But today, Donald Trump showed no signs of reciprocating. The U.S. president is preparing to defend his global tariff regime before the Supreme Court.
Because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble.
Trump standing by his trade tactics comes as one cabinet minister asserted today that despite dropping retaliatory tariffs, Prime Minister Mark Carney hasn't put his elbows down.
Well, there's no capitulation. Let's be clear. Zero. Never, never. That's not happening. We're trying to match exactly what the Americans have done.
And trade talks are ongoing.
It's a complicated negotiation.
That negotiation will be a central focus as Carney convenes his cabinet in the GTA. Starting tomorrow, the Prime Minister and his front bench will be planning fall priorities, from preparing for the CUSMA review and supporting tariff-impacted sectors to fast-tracking big projects. To that end, today, Internal Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland hosted a Made in Canada summit at a Hamilton steel plant to try and generate domestic investment in major transportation projects. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
And during an update today on his U.S.-led missile defense initiative, Trump says he's heard from Canada about being part of the Golden Dome.
The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and then we're going to work something out with them, I hope.
Following his meeting with Trump at the G7 summit earlier this year, Prime Minister Carney confirmed his interest in joining the shared missile defense system. At the time, Carney said high-level discussions are underway. Trump says it will cost Canada $71 billion to be a part of it. Today, Trump said the U.S. Space Common will be relocated from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama, which will cost the U.S. government hundreds of millions of dollars. Trump says the center will play a key role in building the Golden Dome. A federal judge in California says it was illegal for Trump to deploy the National Guard to Los Angeles. A U.S. District Court judge ruled the government violated a law limiting the power of the federal government to use military force for domestic matters. Trump deployed National Guard troops to the city of Los Angeles in June as a response to protests against immigration raids. The president is seeking to use National Guard troops to crack down on crime in several U.S. cities and to support immigration enforcement. Afghanistan's Taliban government is looking to the international community for help after an earthquake killed at least 1,400 people. The United Nations says the death toll could rise dramatically. The current numbers from the Taliban are only from one province. The 6.0 magnitude earthquake struck several provinces in the country's east, flattening villages and trapping people in homes. The difficult terrain is hampering rescue and relief efforts. Several countries are instead pledging aid to humanitarian agencies in the region. In Sudan, an entire village was destroyed by a landslide. Rebel group, the Sudan Liberation Movement Army, says it may have killed 1,000 people. The group is appealing to the UN and international aid groups for assistance in recovering the bodies. The landslide happened yesterday in a mountainous area of Darfur after heavy rainfall. Family, friends, and colleagues are remembering Graham Greene as a trailblazing talent who inspired a generation of Indigenous actors.
Oh, Buffalo. Buffalo.
Greene was an Oneida actor from Six Nations of the Grand River in Ontario. His management team says he died yesterday after a long illness. Greene had a decades-long career on the big and small screens, earning international fame with his Oscar-nominated portrayal of Kicking Bird in 1990's Dances with Wolves. He also won a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album for Children. Graham Greene was 73. And Saturday Night Live is shaking up its cast for season 51, and some Canadian talent is joining the show.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Canadian comedian Veronica Slokowska from Barrie, Ontario, is one of 5 new faces tapped for the show. She's known for her role in the Netflix series Tires and has built a following online with her sharp and offbeat humor. She'll make her SNL debut on October the 4th. Coming up, the price of convenience.
If you haven't activated it, you need to, and you should practice it. Do a test run to make sure that if the worst happens, you're ready.
How to protect your digital wallet when tapping to pay, also next. Red Deer Polytechnic unleashing a new robotic staff member. And there is a look from the CTV drone over the river valley on a smoky Tuesday evening. The smoke not as bad today as it was yesterday, but the heat, more smoke are on the way. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents U.S. Oil was up by around $1.50, now sitting around $65 U.S. a barrel. Gold saw a $76 bump. On the stock market, the TSX gained 51 points. The Dow Jones lost 249 on the day. 10 years after merging, Kraft Heinz is splitting into 2 separate businesses. One of the new companies will carry brands such as Heinz, Philadelphia Cream Cheese, and Kraft Dinner. Oscar Mayer Kraft Singles and Lunchables will be part of the other company. Kraft Heinz says the split will unlock the potential of each brand and create long-term shareholder value. The companies will reveal new names at a later date. With a growing number of people tapping their phone to pay, there are more questions around the safety of using a digital wallet. As CTV's Pat Foran explains, there are steps you can take to protect your cards and prevent fraud.
It's something more of us are doing on a daily basis, paying for items using a smartphone. Digital wallets are fast and convenient.
I can just take it anywhere, whether it's on my phone or on my watch. I know that I always have something to pay with.
But not everyone is convinced it's the best option.
I feel more secure, or just go the old-fashioned ways, use cash.
While opinions differ, there's no question digital wallets are catching on. Once set up, payments are a breeze.
Wherever you go, whatever kind of payment system they require, all you need to do is pull out your phone. No need for cash, no need for plastic.
A Consumer Reports survey found 4 in 10 consumers use their digital wallet at least once a week, but that convenience may come with risks. Because if someone gets into your digital wallet, they could access your money in seconds.
There are security features that are built into both your phone as well as the wallet app on it, but they're not always turned on by default.
You want to make sure your digital wallet is locked. Set it so you need a face scan, fingerprint, or passcode to make a payment. You may need to turn these features on. If your phone goes missing, make sure it can be found remotely so you can erase all your data before someone else gets to it. On an iPhone, go to Settings, tap your name, then Find My, and make sure Find My iPhone is on. If you have an Android phone, it's called Find My Device. Just sign in with your Google account and it's enabled automatically.
If you haven't activated it, you need to, and you should practice it. Do a test run to make sure that if the worst happens, you're ready.
And watch out for scams. They're on the rise.
Scams involving digital wallet payment apps have become a serious problem. Some consumers have lost thousands of dollars. So it's important to stay vigilant to avoid becoming a victim.
To lower your risk, turn on transaction alerts for every purchase. That way you can catch anything unusual right away and protect your money. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A new 4-legged friend has moved in at Red Deer Polytechnic. The school says Dr. Wolf isn't quite what you'd expect from his name. Red Deer Polytechnic marked International Dog Day by introducing its new robotic dog. Dr. Wolf is an intelligent biotic robot who is unleashing new research possibilities. The college says the doctor blends purpose and entertainment, showing some of the real-world uses of tech advancements in education and industry. Dr. Wolf has many abilities. It can navigate complex environments that are unsafe for humans. The dog has an open-source program allowing for anyone to program it. RDP says the robot can attend events and help facilitate tours. Alberta Culture Days has returned to Red Deer. The Red Deer Museum and Art Gallery is offering free programming. Fees have been waived for all regular and special programs, including workshops, art history classes, walking tours, and Real Movie Mondays. Alberta Culture Days celebrates the heritage, arts, community spirit, and cultural diversity in our province. It runs until the end of September. Coming up, paying tribute.
He really went out of his way to record this album, but he never produced it, and that was, to me, the mystery.
How an Edmonton man is keeping the memory of his father alive through music.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV. Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned, award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
It was busy at the legislature grounds over the long weekend for Alberta Day celebrations.
Well, it's my favorite province. We've lived here all our lives and plan on doing that until there's no time left.
The Alberta government says it's a chance to salute our province and its unique spirit, culture, and heritage. Events this weekend included a petting zoo, beer garden, market, and live performances. People were proud to say why they choose to live here.
Oh, there's so many things. I couldn't even begin. I like the attitude. I like the openness, the freedoms we've got. You know, it's just a fantastic province.
I love it. I love Edmonton and Calgary both. I don't know which one I like better, but I like big cities.
You know, Alberta is beautiful. We got it all, right? Every time I'm on that highway between Edmonton and Calgary, because I have family in Calgary, I'm looking out at those prairies and the mountains in the distance, and I think how blessed I am.
Alberta Day has been celebrated September 1st for 3 years. A family in Edmonton is paying tribute to their late father by releasing new music. They stumbled upon a master tape of their father's work that was never released. Now the sounds of his accordion are music to their ears. Merrick Takash has the story.
Paul Sveen is pressing play on a special record, his dad's 29th and final album.
We were cleaning the house out, and we happened to find a box with several master tapes in them. I recognized the names of the albums in it, and I go, these are my dad's albums.
Paul's late father, Olaf Sveen, was a decorated accordionist from Norway. He immigrated to Canada in 1949. Olaf sold more than 300,000 records. However, this one was never released.
We had to get this produced. We had to get this done, and it became a mission.
Olaf died in 2007. Since then, his family has taken it upon themselves to finish the record titled Double Trouble.
He really went out of his way to record this album, but he never produced it, and that was, to me, the mystery.
The record is a double album featuring Olaf playing 2 different accordions.
It's such a find because my dad was an old school musician, and there's not very many of them left.
The family is choosing not to profit from the album, instead releasing it on YouTube for all to hear.
We feel like he helped us get this finished.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
No, I just hope when my kids find my old albums, they're that excited about them.
Well, they're really good, right? Why haven't you released them?
I don't know that they will. Not on vinyl. Not on vinyl. Digital only.
Next time. Well, let's do it next show. Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
12
degrees tomorrow morning. Moderate air quality expected through the overnight period and into tomorrow. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies to go along with that haze. A little warmer than today. We get to 22 for a daytime high today. We'll get to about the 26 to 29 range, kind of depending on how thick that haze is. Looks like it could be really thick late tomorrow night and into early Thursday, and then some improvements. We'll get some sunshine, it looks like Thursday afternoon, but cooler, a high of 20. And gusty wind for tomorrow afternoon and most of the day. Thursday, Beyond that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll see what happens with the smoke, but temperatures look like they'll creep back up to a handful of degrees above average. 20 is the average daytime high, so 25s this coming Saturday, Sunday. A lot cooler than last week, but still above average.
It'll be great. Thanks, Josh, and thanks for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. See you.